All right, now we're going to assume P of k and show P of k plus 1. P of k is that the star graph with k vertices has k minus 1 edges. P of k plus 1 is that the star graph with k plus 1 vertices has k plus 1 minus 1 edges. And yes, k plus 1 minus 1 is k. All right, so let's start by drawing the star graph with k plus 1 vertices. Okay, so the star graph with k plus 1 vertices is, all right, now remember, the star graph always starts with V1 in the center. So we'll put our V1 there. Then we have V2, V3, V4. Okay, now I'm going to put in a dot, dot, dot to indicate that I don't know how many other vertices we have. Let's see, we have VK, and then finishing with VK plus 1. Okay, period at the end over there. All right, so here's the idea of the proof. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing that we did, that I wrote out in part C of problems 1 and 2 in the Induction with Graphs worksheet. I'm going to pull off an edge. And in fact, I'm going to pull off that edge right there. Okay, now see what happens when I pull off this edge. When I pull off that edge, let's see. When I take off that edge, what do I have left? Right? So in red over here, what do I have left? When I take off that edge connecting V1 and VK plus 1, here I have the star with k vertices. Right? There's k vertices. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 up to k. And we're guaranteed by the induction hypothesis that this thing has k minus 1 edges. Okay, and so then when we add it back, so then when we add this edge back, right, to get this blue graph, the blue graph being the star with k plus 1 vertices, right? So if the red graph has k minus 1 edges, right? If the red graph has k minus 1 edges, then the blue graph has however many, right? Because the blue graph is just one more edge than however many edges are in the red graph. It doesn't even matter that the red graph has k minus 1 edges. However many edges the red graph has, the blue graph just has one more of those, one more than that. So the blue graph has k minus 1 plus 1 edges. And k minus 1 plus 1 is the same as k plus 1 minus 1. And that's going to be our proof. So that's the idea of the proof. The star graph with k plus 1 vertices is this. Okay. removing the edge v1 vk plus 1, we get the star graph with k vertices. Now, here's where we use the inductive assumption, P of k. By P of k, this new graph has k minus 1 edges. So the star graph with k plus 1 vertices must have k minus 1 plus 1, which is equal to k plus 1 minus 1 edges. And that's the proof.